The road to Santiago was known to drive a few men mad. There was a man named Alaric in 1325 who decided to take this pilgrimage, and he asked his monk buddy, and the monk buddy was like, "Here, have some herbs." So he took the herbs. And when he took the herbs, he also brought the sachet that he usually carried with some food, like cheese, bread, the noms, and he carried his little staff and the herbs that were wrapped around with a red thread. The monk was like, "Hey, carry this." So Alaric just figured, okay, that's cool. I'll just do that. Every night, Alaric decided to sleep underneath the stars because he literally had no other option. There were no hotels. There were no accommodations for those pilgrims way back when in the 1300s. And he was like, okay, yeah, best option is, put my head on a rock and call it a day. He ended up having dreams of this lady that was usually cloaked in moonlight. And she'd be standing in the middle of his path, and her eyes were like silver pools of light. And she was carrying this little green flame. And so she would turn to him and she would say, "The road is long, but the flame will not forsake you." And then, she would just vanish out of thin air. And then he would wake up gasping for air, as soon as she vanished. He remembered what she would say. But whenever he woke up, the little bundle of herbs would be glowing green in his hand. And it would be so warm that it kept him throughout the entire night just nice and cozy. The herb in particular was named Artemisia vulgaris, which now we know as mugwort. It's known as the traveler's herb or the ally to travelers. It's a plant that's said to walk beside those who wander too far from home. When Alaric finally reached Santiago, he said to his monk buddies over there, "Hey, I didn't actually walk here. I felt like I was carried by the herb. Like, I don't even remember most of the journey." Instead, he said that the herb carried him. Hi, I'm Kaylee, and this is Rooted in History. Today we're going to follow that green little light through the story of mugwort, which is also known as the herb of the ancients. The first time mugwort's name was actually written down was in the 10th century on an Anglo-Saxon medical charm known as the 9 Herbs Charm. It was found in a collection called the Lacnunga, which translates roughly to remedies. "Remember thou, mugwort, what thou declared, what thou advised at the proclamation of the gods, Una, the first of worts, eldest of herbs. Thou hast might against 3 and against 30, against venom, against that which flies, against the loathsome that fares through the land." In other words, mugwort was a multi-tool. It was used for wounds, for poison, and for warding off evil spirits and anything else creeping through the medieval night. It was called Una, which meant roughly the first. Not roughly, it was the first. Said to be given by the gods of humanity for protection. So mugwort wasn't just a weed that we find on the side of the road. Back then, it was a guardian spirit. Travelers across Europe would actually pluck it from roadsides to put it into their sandals to ward off fatigue, or to prevent fatigue. Roman soldiers would actually put sprigs inside their shoes before they went marching for long periods of time. Pliny the Elder, the Roman naturalist who died studying the eruption of Vesuvius, wrote that the wayfarer who has mugwort will not tire, neither shall he be harmed by spirits. And interestingly, mugwort was often harvested on St. John's Eve, the summer solstice, when it was believed to hold the height of its power. It's used to weave John's girdles, which are garlands worn for protection against thunder, lightning, and nightmares. In every culture that's encountered mugwort, it's become the same thing. It's a plant for those who wander between the known and the unknown. The very name of Artemisia vulgaris gives its divine lineage. It's the herb of Artemis, which is the Greek goddess of the moon, wild places, and protection of women. Artemis, who's the twin sister of Apollo, ruled the night, the hunt, and the mysteries of transformation. Her herb was mugwort, silver green and soft beneath the fingertips, which reflected her lunar light. In classic herbalism, mugwort was said to regulate menstrual cycles and protect mothers in childbirth, both literal and spiritual thresholds. In Japan, mugwort is known as yomagi. It's still used in springtime purification baths to renew the body and spirit after winter. And the same leaves are pounded into mochi, a sacred food symbolizing vitality and rebirth. Meanwhile, in China, mugwort, ye, became a foundation of traditional medicine. Through the practice of moxibustion, healers burned dried mugwort near acupuncture points to warm and move the body's qi, which is the life force. The ancient text Shenong Ben Cao Jing, or the Divine Farmer's Materia Medica, described mugwort as warming the womb, stopping bleeding, driving out cold evil. Cold evil usually meant stagnation, which now we refer to as inflammation, poor circulation, and even fatigue. Even in native North American medicine, mugwort reappears time and time again, like a traveling companion reborn across continents. The Chumash used it in smudge bundles for protection. The Lakota bathed newborns in it for blessing, and the Navajo called it dream sage. Different languages, same lesson. Mugwort restores flow, blood, energy, and spirit. So let's pull it down from the stars for a little bit and talk about what we actually know about mugwort. Modern studies show mugwort contains thujone, cineol, camphor, and flavonoids, compounds that are known to have antimicrobial, antifungal, and anti-inflammatory actions. In traditional Chinese medicine terms, it's warming and moving. In Western energetics, it's a bitter tonic, a mild nervine, stimulating digestion, circulation, and mental clarity. It's been used for digestive sluggishness, menstrual irregularities, parasites and worms, nerve tension, and nightmares. It's complex, both stimulating and relaxing, both grounding and ethereal. As herbalist Matthew Wood writes, mugwort strengthens the imagination while protecting the soul's borders. It doesn't make you drift away, it anchors you so you can travel safely inward. And remember our pilgrim, Alaric? Maybe his visions weren't madness. Maybe his body and spirit were just tuned differently. Let's talk about a few traditional ways to use mugwort. So the dream pillow. You'll need 2 tablespoons dried mugwort leaves, 1 tablespoon lavender or chamomile, a small linen or muslin pouch. Mix them gently and place the pouch near your pillow. Near your pillow, not under, unless you want to be dreaming in like IMAX resolution. Some people report flying, water, moonlight themes in their dreams. Others see a woman with silver eyes. The steam of clarity. You'll need a tablespoon of dried mugwort, a bowl of steaming water, and a towel. Add the herb, let it steep a minute, breathe deeply under the towel. This clears sinuses and lifts mental fog like none other. So old herbalists would call it wind cold in the head. Think of it as ancient aromatherapy for when your brain feels like it's buffering. The digestive tonic tea. You'll need 1 teaspoon dried mugwort, 1 cup hot water. Steep for 5 to 7 minutes. Add honey if needed. It's excellent before meals. It stimulates bile and wakes up sluggish digestion, but it's not for daily use. So this is important to remember. Mugwort contains a compound called thujone, which is a neuroactive compound also found in wormwood and sage. So you should probably avoid it if you're pregnant, breastfeeding, or if you have ragweed allergies. If you're using any kind of medications that affect the liver or anything like that, just check with a medical provider or a qualified herbalist first. It's cool because this plant isn't just part of one culture, it's part of humanity's collective story. It's the bridge between like myth and medicine. And the next time you walk along road or drift into a strange dream, just listen closely because you might just hear someone say, "The road is long, but the flame will not forsake you." If this story spoke to you, please consider subscribing to my channel, Rooted in History, for more herbal storytelling, myth, and medicine, because we have a lot more herbs we're going to be talking about. Hi, welcome.
What's wrong now?
What do we have? We have a lot more herbs we're going to be talking about, okay? It's the flame! It's not the green flame, it's the flame! So if this spoke to you, I feel so silly. Please subscribe. Please love me.